What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. You can call me Wangle McJangly Jangles. In the chat, Toxic FPV, Random FPV, Frank Nicholas, Moto Ref, Zach Lothamer, JT MacGyver, Random FPV, Zach Lothamer, Chomper FPV, Frank Nicholas again, Remy Tim, Michael Scott Rue, Beginning FPV, Aaron FPV, P. Richard Scott, he's home. P. Richard Scott was just hanging out here. What's up, Patrick? Looks like that's everybody. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all you got to do is type my name, CiottiFPV. You can put an at in front of it, but you don't have to. Nobody put an at in front of it. Nobody's putting an at in front of it anymore. That's okay. You do have to spell it right, though. That's important. This is my full-time job. If you would like me to keep on doing this almost every day, I've been struggling quite a bit lately, but I'll live. Hop on over to CiottiFPV.com and click some buttons. Patreon is the most helpful. Here's a bunch of my social nonsense. Over on Etsy, I've got some stickers and hardware for sale. Over on Fiverr, I want to help you fly better. I want to help you build better. I want to help you tune better. And Remy Tim actually is doing get you up in the air kind of stuff. I can't think of the goddamn word at the moment. Mentoring. So if you know somebody that's just trying to get up in the air that's kind of new, you can jump onto my Fiverr or you can jump onto Remy Tim's Fiverr. And yeah, Daniel's helping folks get up in the air, doing an awesome job of it. T-shirts over on Teespring. Here's my FPV Exchange page and a new tab, and then if you ever find yourself doing orders on FPV Cycle, Amazon, Get FPV, oh my god, FPV Crate, Banggood, if you hit one of these affiliate links before you check out at any point, I will get 1 to 6% of that order. So do it. Here's my page over on FPV Exchange. Here's a bunch of the stickers. FPV Exchange goes out and queries a bunch of different websites and pulls products in. So for example, right, I'm selling a bunch of stuff on FPV Exchange, so I'm selling 2 of these 3B hobby motors. So if I click it, if you're on FPV Exchange and you search for this motor and you click on this motor, it's going to show you all the different websites that are selling it, whether or not they're in stock or out of stock, and the price. So if you sell some of your stuff on FPV Exchange, look, you're going to be up on top of the list, and that's a pretty good deal. Can't have that on FPV Marketplace, so do it. Use FPV Exchange to find the best prices and buy used stuff and sell your used stuff. Nevin is a great guy. He works at an ER all day, every day, saving actual lives, and then he comes home and manages FPV Exchange. So show the man that has supported me and the community a ton some love by just jumping onto FPV Exchange, signing up, importing a bunch of your purchases, and just click the button and you'll make a bunch of stuff for sale, and you can get rid of some of the nonsense that's sitting on your desk and buy some new nonsense that eventually maybe you can resell. Oh, that's straight vodka, by the way. Tonight, I'm going to do a little bit of Fiverr work. A fella dropped his QAV-S off to me that needs a new AIO put in. So yeah, we're just going to drop a new AIO in there. It looks like the Caddx Vista and the Crossfire are on plugs, and I'll just be able to plug them right in. So all I really need to do is manage all the wires and solder up the motors, and that's pretty much all I can do. I can't check video because I'm not on DJI, and I mean, plugging in the receiver is plugging in the receiver. So yeah, we'll be good to go. In the chat, the people that have tagged me so far have been MotoRef. He says CiottiFPV is back. JT MacGyver says, what's up, collective? CiottiFPV, I ordered my first Acon flight controller, you MFing salesman, you're going to love it, JT. They're the best that I've found. Chomper FPV is in the house. He's sitting on the top of a mountain, that lucky son of a bitch. P. Richard Scott says, oh, snap, lake footage. Yeah, I just randomly clicked a folder from last year. That was, did you believe that was a year ago, Patrick? January, February, March, April, May, June. That was June 6th, 2020. What's it now, June 4th? Yeah, almost exactly a year ago. Oh, how things have changed in 1 year. Double A says, hello there, buddy. What's up, chat? What's up, Double A? Frank Nicholas dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. Thank you, Frank. Brian Ledmeraw says, do you know if the new T-Motor 1404s are smooth? I'm looking for a good smooth motor for the new Armatan Tadpole HD. Brian, I don't know yet, but I am doing a Pyro drone order. So I've got the 2 Rip Squeaks. I'm going to build a third, and the third one I'm going to put on, I think initially I'm going to put it on these Toka 1606s to give these a little bit of, I'm sorry, 1505s rather. The 1606s are terrible. Don't get the 1606s. Get the 1505s. And then I think what I'm going to do is pull the other Rip Squeak that's on the 9x9 mount arms. I think I'm going to pull the 1306s off of that because I'm having some full throttle vibration issues. And I think I want to see if I can do a 1404 Rip Squeak. I would love to bring the weight down a little bit on the Rip Squeak, and the 1306s make an awful lot of power. The 1504.5s make an awful lot of power. These Toka 1505s I'm sure are going to make an awful lot of power. I think that they're making the right amount of power at the moment, to be totally honest, but Yeah, I would love to build one on 1404s just as a comparison point, as to what a 1404 will do on a 210-ish. Well, once I put those motors on, it'll come down to about 200 grams. So I'm really interested to see. This summer, I'm going in pretty hard on 3-inch rigs to freestyle with Runcam hybrids. Speaking of Patrick, P. Richard Scott in the chat, he's going it. We're going pretty deep on the 3-inch thing together. That's what she said. Yeah, he's building 2 rip squeaks as well. Moving on. Random FPV says, shit, my bank card has run out. Just redid my Patreon, assholes didn't let me. It's all good, Random. Thanks, dude. Brian Laddenraw says, do you... Oh, no, we got that. Motoref says, I dropped $1,500 on Amazon today with your Amazon link. Hope it worked. Very cool, Motoref. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Over on Amazon, typically I get, like when I say for the affiliate links that I get between 1% and 6%, basically Amazon is 1%. All the other websites are 6%. So that's awesome, dude. That's a good chunk of money. I appreciate that, Motoref. Thanks for remembering. That's very cool of you. Michael Scott Rue saying hello. Zach Lothamer saying, forgot to tag you earlier in the chat, but I don't know if you saw it. Newbie Drone has a new version of their 65mm whoop with what looks like a V3 AIO onboard list of the VTX at 100 milliwatts. Dalton's been... I didn't see that in the Newbie Drone email that came through today. Dalton was telling me... He's been telling me for months that the new AIO is going to be really, really good, and that I'm going to really like it. Doesn't look like it's on here quite yet. Where'd you see that, Zach? Forgot to tag you earlier in the chat. So is it in... I'm assuming it's maybe in Facebook Marketplace or whatever? Facebook, what's it called? Newbie Drone Hive. Newbie Drone Hive. Let me take a look. The Infinity looks kind of interesting. Not for me. For you DJI folks, it might be cool. Where's it at? Where's it at? Gimme! I want to see it. Where is it? Oh, is that it? Nope. Those are motors. On Newbie Drone's website. I was just on their website. Is it maybe in their product section here? Flight controllers and ESCs. Let's take a look here. Let me search for V3. Nothing. Where at on their website, Zach? So that's the old... This is the V1. This is the good one, but it should be out of stock. Yeah, sold out forevers. Not seeing it. Is it maybe on the main page? And they didn't get it. They didn't get it on the actual product pages yet. Let me know where you saw it, Zach. Brian Ladmroth says, I need 9x9 light in between 4,600 and 5,000 kV. I'm looking for that same range of kV, Brian. I've got 3 different 1404s on the it's on pre-order, Zach says. Where I don't see a pre-order part of the website. I don't see a pre-order section on the website here. Where do I need to click, Zach, for the pre-order part of the website to take a look at it? Because it's not in new arrivals. I would think it would be in new arrivals, but it doesn't look like it's in there. Yeah, so I've got 3 1404s coming from Pyrodrone. I'm hoping they'll be here maybe tomorrow. Just one of each so that I can check the cogginess of them. I didn't, for some reason, the T-Motor 1404 didn't make it into that order. I don't know why. Nor did the X-Nova. So I'm going to do another Pyrodrone order, and I'm going to put one of the T-Motors and one of the X-Novas on there as well. And then I'll have most of the 1404s, and I'll know which ones are coggy and which ones are not, which will be really, really good. So stay tuned for that. Remy Tim says, oh God, that was a good one. Check your PayPal. Oh, shit. Oh, by the way, hold on. Hold on. Oh my God, what? Why do I have so many unread emails? Oh boy, that's a lot of unread emails. Oh boy. New $3 patron, Pietro Barcaro. Welcome to the collective. What else do we have here? Snapchat. What the fuck are you emailing me for? Don't email me. What the hell is this shit? Pyrodrone orders on the way. That's good. Flying Miata. Okay. No emails. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Patreon receipt. That's great. Terrific. UPS. Match.com. Sticker Mule. Oh, Sticker Mule. Hi. Well, I'm just going to scroll up to the top. Zach Lothamer, thanks for joining the Patreon. Welcome to the collective, my man. And Paul McDonald sends $25. Thank you, Paul. Very cool of you. He said, hope it helps, brother. It certainly will, Paul. Much appreciated, man. And Daniel Maurer sent $22. He says, today I placed an order at RDQ because I forgot about your affiliate links, and now I'm making up for my failures to help you pay your bills for the iMac. Thanks, brother. So we are going to 222. 222 out of $12.99. Much appreciated, Daniel. Very cool of you. And you as well, Paul. Very, very cool of you guys. If you guys want to do like a super chat type thing, but you don't want YouTube to take 30%, you can go to CiottiFPV.com, scroll down, there's a PayPal button, and that'll send it straight to me. Zach says their products bind and fly 2/3 of the way down the page. All right, let's find it. Hold on, let me first save my no email me ever Snapchat preferences. Snapchat, Jesus Christ. Bind and fly plug and play kits, brushless whoop, 2/3 of the way. What do we got here? Pre-order. Newbie drone, Acro B65. I have a feeling that that's it. What do we got here? Acro B65, pre-order. DSM. Nope, nobody wants DSM. External receiver, that's really good. I like that. 2S capable, VTX through OSD. These are the old motors. I don't know why they would still be putting the old motors on. I think this might be an old listing for the 1S. For the V1, rather. Are you seeing V3? I think, Zach, you said you saw V3 somewhere. I just searched for I just did a find for V3, and I'm not finding it. I feel like this might be their old V1. Because the V1 was... the V1 was 100 milliwatts. Interesting. If this is the V3, I would love that. F4. These are the specs of the V1. So if this is also the V3, I'm cool with that. I'm in love with that, to be really honest. So yeah, that would be great. But my guess is that the V3 will have a little bit better specs than the V1. You know what I mean? There'll be something different, I would think. Maybe like an F7 processor or something like that. But yeah, if that is if they are going to be selling that, I would love that. I would totally buy one of those. Back into the chat here. Let me find my place. Bobby the Shank says, "What's up, man? Hope everyone is having a good night." Me too, Bobby. I hope that as well. Pre-order, okay, good. There's talking to Zach. Freelojo says, Ghost Protocol works great, and I'm not pushing the power up and actually feels really responsive. Very cool, Freelojo. Keep us up to date on if you get any fail-safes. I'm still too afraid to switch in, afraid and broke to switch over. Forevermore says, come back to the dark side, CiottiFPV. What's the dark side, Forevermore? Remy Tim says, CiottiFPV learns how to use email on live stream. Indeed. Paul McDonald says, you know it, man. Thanks again, brother. Don Ladd says, hello. Remy Tim shadowing my Forevermore, what's the dark side? Thanks for the kind words, Ryan Fedora. You didn't tag me, but I just happened to see your kindness. Much appreciated, man. If you want to guarantee that I read something, just type CiottiFPV and it'll light up in orange. Whenever you guys type my name, you don't have to put the @ but whenever you type my name, it lights up in orange, so I know that you guys are talking to me. Sometimes I see messages where I'm not tagged, but for the most part. Bot's channel. Yeah, I thought Bot was gonna be off. Usually he wraps up around 10:30. I feel bad that we're both streaming, but yeah, I just gotta bang the rest of this build out. If you guys were watching Bot, go back, go watch Bot. This is more his time slot. When he's done, come over and watch me. Richard says, have you tried the iFlight full send batteries? I'm thinking of getting some 4S 650 packs. I have, Richard. I'm not impressed. I only got one of them, but right out of the box, the internal resistances were very, very high. iFlight full send batteries, I'm not impressed with. The Apex batteries, I'm also not impressed with. They're a little bit cheaper than like a legit GNB, but they suck. Same thing with the AIO line, the gold line batteries. Very high internal resistances. Just get GNB. You can find GNB 4S 450s and 550s and 650s with Google or with FPV Exchange. So just get the legit GNB batteries. The internal resistances are much, much, much lower. Speaking of FPV cycle, if you're in the market for like a 450 or a 550 mAh battery, once these guys come back in stock, these are what you want. Bob had GNB do a run of these 500 mAh batteries, and they're a higher C rating. Please be in stock. Please be in stock. Ooh, they're in. Are they really in stock? Damn it. How many are in stock? Ooh, there's some. There's some. All right, hold on. I fucking hate to do this, but I have to. Here, hold on. I'll be right back. So I like this battery here. First impressions are same amount, if not a little bit more, middle and low throttle grunt. And then at the top of the throttle, it's like a bomb going off. Big increase in full throttle power. But that makes sense. We went from 1600 kV to 1950 kV. It seems like T-Motor has taken notice of the fact that Betaflight now has throttle scaling that works really well built in. So it's kind of silly to buy a 1600 kV motor now. Buy a 1950 kV motor, and if it's too much power, you just scale it down in Betaflight. There's really no negatives to doing that. So that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing, but let's keep flying them, see if we can get used to the mega power. All right, battery number 2. Let's see if we can get used to this. All right, cool. So once Bob gets those batteries back in stock, since I just bought the rest of them, then you should buy them. He might still have like 3S and 6S in, but there are no more 4S's. I bought all 3 of them. Don't get full send batteries though. Don't get Apex batteries. Don't get Gold Line batteries, in my opinion. Rodney says, doesn't that QAV-S have 1404s on it? It does not. It has T-Motor 1507 T-mount motors on it. Forevermore says, we're finishing up the challenges, but I miss your weird in the chat. Thanks, Forevermore. Riot9 sending 1051 Australian. He says, Mac funds uneven. Let me figure out what 1051 Australian is in cheeseburger dollars. 1051 Australian. Oh, God, really? No, Google, no. Not time. Dollars. 812 US dollars. So that, oh, look at you go. You're putting us to an even number. I'm going to ignore the 12, and we're going to go to 230. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated, Riot9. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Both! Zach Lothamer says, I almost forgot I ordered a 4-pack of GNB 1S 450 high-volt batteries and a 6-spot charger off Amazon with your link Thursday. Yay, more flight time. Very cool, Zach. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. Richard says, I saw a bunch of the GNB 4S 700s in stock. I was wondering about those too. I assume since they're GNBs, they should be decent. Yeah, GNB is the company that, like, they're one of the few that, like, you can just buy their batteries. You don't have to, like, oh, I wonder if this GNB battery is any good. There's a little ant crawling around the desk. Come on, little ant. You've got wings. I think that means you're like a fucking queen or some shit. I don't want to kill you, but I do want you to get out of here. Ah, fuck you. Yeah, GNB batteries are really good across the board. I've yet to get a GNB battery that I wasn't totally impressed with. So they're always a really, really safe bet. They're not super expensive. They're not super cheap. The performance is really good. With GNB batteries, you get what you pay for. You probably get a little bit more than what you pay for. If you want something a little bit lighter, a little bit more expensive, the Tattoo R line is the next sort of step up. If you want something a little cheaper and a little bit worse and a little bit heavier, China Hobby Line batteries are an okay choice. So yeah, there's 3 really good batteries to kind of bracket yourself in. Freelo just says no fail-safes yet. Running recommended for firmwares and a battery order that didn't get labeled correctly and went missing. Oof. That got replaced. Now the original should be showing up tomorrow. Nice, that got replaced. Jotun the Pro says, does FPV Cycle website ship internationally? I don't think so, but a bunch of the FPV Cycle stuff is in the TBS store, which does ship international. Well, they are international. All right, cool. I'm caught up on chat. Let's do some work. So I got to be a little mindful of timing. Oh, perfect. So we're a half an hour into the chat. So yeah, let's see how long this takes. This shouldn't be bad though. I didn't realize that that everything was going to be on plugs. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed with that. So first thing I actually want to do is clean up these motor wires and just they're a little bit kind of doing. They're sort of doing one of these, and I want to get the strands of wire together because the pads are very close together on this Beta FPV board. So this is a Beta FPV AIO. This is the F4 20 amp toothpick brushless flight controller V4. This was supplied to me. You guys know I'm not a fan of AIOs or Beta FPV is okay, but you guys know my stance on AIOs. But sometimes the AIOs hold up. This one's going to get properly installed here, so it's going to have the best possible chance of holding up. And I hope that it does. With AIOs, sometimes it seems like like every once in a while you get a good one or whatever, and they just kind of work forever, which is awesome. So hopefully this is one of the good ones. My experience with AIOs has been all the ones that I've gotten haven't been the good ones, and I've had them all kind of blow up on me. But I've heard from others that they've not had that experience. So yeah, it seems like it's kind of hit or miss. Hopefully this will be a hit rather than a miss. So just tinning the tip of the soldering iron here, and then I'm going to use my tweezers here on the other side of the wire strands, and I'm just going to pinch in between just to get these strands of wire nice and neat and tidy here. That's going to be really important when soldering to soldering to pads that are really close together. So let's just come in here and fix all these little fellas up. Okay. So the previous beta FPV AIO that was on here caught fire, as you guys can probably see, right under where the soldering iron is now. The carbon fiber is all burnt to hell. It got so hot that it desoldered the USB from the board itself, which is pretty gnarly. It's a pretty gnarly failure. I think he said it also got hot enough that it desoldered the battery leads off the damn thing, which is pretty crazy as well. All right, so let's get a little bit more solder on the tip of the iron here, and we're just getting these guys cleaned up a little bit. There we go. That's looking good. Get this one going here. Oh, that one looks good. This one needs a little love for sure. Tip of this iron is disgusting already. Let's get it cleaned off. Much better. One of the easiest ways to tell if the tip of the iron is too dirty is if you try to tin the tip of the iron with the solder and the solder won't stick to it. If the solder won't stick to the tip of the iron, that means the tip of the iron is oxidized and you need to clean it. If you just cleaned it and it's still happening, it could mean that the tip of your iron is shot, or it could mean that you're not hot enough. Usually it does mean that the tip of the iron is shot. They do sell soldering iron tip re-tinner that you can buy that kind of works wonders. No, this is still not quite there. There we go. That's what I needed. Okay. And then these guys over here actually look okay. These, this one's a little frayed. Let's clean this one up a little bit. Alright. So the reason that we tin the tip of the iron is that solder is going to transfer heat a lot better. The tip of your iron is like a round thing, and then the wire is a round thing, right? So if you touch those two round things together, there's only a tiny little contact patch, right? Whereas if there's a big blob of solder, you move the blob of solder onto the round thing, and it like envelops it, and it's going to transfer a lot more of the heat, and it's just going to transfer the heat a lot quicker. It's not going to transfer more of the heat, but it's going to transfer the heat a lot quicker. So that's why it's kind of important to do that. And now that I really look at these, some of these other ones are kind of frayed out as well, so I need to get that taken care of here. This is really important to do when you're rebuilding a board. You need to not half-ass this part. You need to make sure that every little strand of wire is accounted for, because if you've got a little scraggler that connects between the pads, you're going to rebuild the rig, you're going to power it on, you're going to arm it, and it's going to blow up because you're going to have bridges between the motor pads, and that is no good. So this is something that you really do need to be careful of when you're rebuilding a rig. When you're building it for the first time, you don't really need to deal with this because the motor wires are going to be fresh, right? You'll have like just stripped and tinned them. So this is typically not an issue. But on a rebuild, this is really important. And again, I'm just using the tweezers to pinch as a thing to kind of squash these guys together. All right, so we're looking pretty good. I'm gonna re-tin these, although that one looks terrible. What the hell happened to that one? I'm gonna re-tin these motor wires to make sure that there's fresh solder on them. I don't know what, there's a chance that this is like lead-free solder, or there's a chance that there's not enough solder on these. So to be safe, I'm just gonna re-tin these guys. All right, that's looking pretty good. So let's just knock this out real quick. And a little bit of solder on the tip of the iron. Kind of get it going. And again, you always want to try to put the soldering iron on one side and then push the solder in from the other to make sure that you're getting solder in between the strands of wire. You don't just want like a big blob of solder on the tip of the iron that you then transfer to the wire. You want to, I mean, you do want a blob on the tip of the iron to transfer the heat, but then you want to push solder from the other side of the wires because you want to make absolutely sure that you get as much solder in between and all up in there as you possibly can. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit. Yeah, I know, right, Don Lads? Only because it's somebody else's, man. All right. Are you going to focus? Yeah, look at it go. So I did those guys. Now I want to do these little fellas here. And I'm actually going to get this one mushed together a little better here. Yeah, I can't like test this rig or anything, but all I really need to do is solder the motors up and then plug everything else in, so it should be good to go at that point. All right, so just re-tinning here. All right, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so our motor wires are tinned. Now let's get our AIO tinned up. And for that, we're going to use the disgusting block of wood, of course. Okay, so the way that Beta FPV does this... Oh, we also need to get the battery lead hooked up here. But we'll do the motor leads first. So I'm going to tin the top of this guy. Let's hit it with the flux pen. If you don't have a flux pen, get one. There's a link down below in the description. This is really important to have. Flux is a big deal. It will immediately make you much better at soldering, and it'll just make your life a lot easier in general. So we are going to get those pads flux the fuck up. Patrick and I watched Joshua's racing video that he put out today, and he was cursing all over the place in there. I was like, yes! That's what, if you've never met Joshua in real life, he curses in real life, you know, like a real person. But he doesn't curse in his videos because it's bad for SEO and people have kids that watch him and stuff like that. I should follow suit and also not curse, but I can't. And anytime I threaten to stop cursing, you guys super chat me to keep cursing. So, you know, I'm just doing what my bosses tell me to. flux is making this very easy, as it tends to. And when you tin these pads, since they're so close together, you don't want to put a ton of solder on here, because then it's just going to make your life more difficult when you want to put these wires down. So you want to just kind of lightly tin these pads. If the pads weren't so goddamn close together, it wouldn't make a difference. But Beta FPV likes to torture us, apparently. And or they just put a lot of pads in a small space. One of the other things that sucks about AIOs is that, like, you just don't have a lot of room to work with, so the pads end up needing to be like really close together, and that makes building them very, very difficult. So I guess I should put the battery lead on next, because it's gonna face upwards. And yeah. I'm gonna put the battery lead on next. So I'm gonna fix these. They're all frayed out here, so I need to kind of fix them. So the way that I like to do that is against the wood. So I'll put my little solder standing up here. I'll get this guy ready. Tin the tip, and then drop it down. Put your soldering iron really flat to the table. Drop it down, push, and then you can pull out. And that will really do a good job at smashing all the strands of wire together. And at the same time, every time you pull out like that, you'll take a little bit of solder usually, which is good. You don't want a huge amount of solder on here. I'm actually going to clean the tip of the iron after each one of these, because I need to try to get it through those holes. So I probably need to remove some solder from this. See that little bit of solder that just shot off there? Just by like pulling away. The other thing you want to remember too, right, we talk about this a lot, is that solder travels towards the heat. So as you pull the heat away like that, the solder is going to want to come with it. So that looks pretty good. That looks like it might now be small enough to fit through those little holes on the AIO. Let's hit another couple times just to really round it out. Now it looks really, really good. Now we're going to do the same thing with the positive here. Push down. Wait until it melts, and then pull outwards. Push down and pull out. Push down, pull out. Each time you're going to remove a little bit of solder. Clean the tip of the iron to get all that solder that you're removing off. Come back in and do it again. Come on, little buddy. There we go. Let me use the, speaking of the tip re-tinner, this is what it looks like. You put the tip of the iron in it. It makes bubbling noises and sounds. And then the tip of your iron is sort of like reconditioned to some extent. All right, let's go right back in here. Try to take a little bit more of this off. You could also hit the this wire, if it's being stubborn and not melting, you could hit the end of this wire with the flux pen and get some flux on it, and that's going to help the heat transfer. In much the same way as tinning the tip of the iron, right? It's just a medium that will have more of a contact patch, and more contact patch is going to transfer heat quicker and more efficiently. All right, we're almost there. I think this is almost skinny enough to go through that opening in the board. And as you remove solder, it's gonna be harder to get temperature into it, so you're gonna need to use a little bit of pressure, but that's good because you're gonna again be forcing solder out of these guys. The other way to do this would be with solder braid. Solder braid is gonna really pull the solder out of it, but I usually just do it this way. All right, so that looks pretty round. Let's see if those will fit through the holes in the board. Red is good. Round is not quite there. It's not quite. Oh, nope. Yep, we're good. Cool. So the way that I like to do this is to just kind of balance it. It's a little bit of an inexact kind of science. It's not really science at all, but just kind of get it like that so that they're all the way through. and then you're just going to put the heat from the tip of the iron and just push solder in from the other side, and all the solder is just going to like get all up in there, and it's going to all flow together, and it's pretty nice. Works pretty well. So we're going to clean the tip. Again, make sure the distance is nice and solid, and we're going to put the heat, and then we're just going to push the solder in between the tip of the iron and the wire coming through. Just give it a little bit of time to kind of flow around in there, and we're good. And we're going to do the same thing on the positive here. Put the tip of the iron between the wire and the pad. Push some solder in. Give it a second. Remove the heat. And that's looking pretty good. Careful, because the board itself is going to be hot. Take a look at what you got going on. Take your 5X loop. If you don't have a 5X loop, scroll down in the description. This is another absolutely essential tool so that you can check your work. At a 5X magnification, you're going to be able to see a lot that your naked eyeballs can't. And you're just looking to make sure that the solder kind of penetrated all the way through. I could put a little more solder on the negative, and I think I'm actually gonna. It didn't quite get all the way in there. The positive looks great, though. Yeah, the positive is good to go. The ground, I'm just gonna put a little bit more solder into, and I'm actually gonna put the soldering iron on the bottom because that's where it didn't fully flow. So I'm gonna put the heat down here, and I'm gonna pass the solder up like this, to make sure that it flows all up in there this time. Much better. Much, much, much better. Cool. All right, that'll be good. Give it a second to cool down, stop flowing. And now I'm going to take another look. Yeah, much better. Much, much, much better. Cool. So now we've got power to the board. Oh, that's a big capacitor on there. Cool. And now we've got the pads tinned. Oh, no, this is the old board. The motor pads are tinned, so we can pretty much at this point drop it into the frame, solder the motor wires up, and we're going to be good to go. Let me get centered on the camera here. And so let's figure out how we want to mount this. Oh, there's grommets for this. Let's get the grommets in. Ooh, gross. We're going to get grommeted up here in a second because otherwise this thing is going to be hard mounted, and that's no good. So the trick to putting these grommets in is to kind of pinch them between your thumb and forefinger, and then just get sort of like half of it in there, and then you just kind of stuff the rest of it in with your fingernail from the other side. So you want to see it get started like that. If it's not getting started like that, you're screwed. It's got to be starting to peek through like that. Usually I can get it with my fingernail. Sometimes I can't, though. If I can't get it with my fingernail, I'll take my tweezers and just use those to kind of pinch the little bottom part and then sneak it in there. Pinch and push. Pinch and push. Pinch and push. And then eventually you'll get it enough in there where you can push the whole grommet down and it'll pop through the rest of the way, or you can kind of use your fingernail to just pick it through the rest of the way. Speaking of picking things through, I gotta get the solder off of the tips of these tweezers. There we go, that's better. Okay, cool. And we'll do it 3 more times. Pinch it, get it started. And let me see if I can just do this one with my fingernails. You just kind of like scooch your fingernails back and push, and scooch back and push, and scooch back and push. And usually it works, but sometimes it won't. Different grommets and different boards tend to be like easier and harder. Kind of thing that like once you've done it a bunch of times, it gets a lot easier, but I know it can be really frustrating. Using the tweezers really does help. I usually end up using these tweezers to mush them on in there. Sometimes too, if you push it from one side versus the other side, it'll be a little bit easier, so just kind of play around with that. Try not to just get super frustrated and scream and yell like I do. When you've just gotten it started, it's hard to pull it through from the other side. Like I'm trying to do that right now, and it really doesn't want to. You got to kind of assist it a little bit more here. And the tweezers really help with that. So there we go. There we go. I probably have enough of it through now to pull it the rest of the way. Yeah, there we go. And come on. All right, 3 down, 1 more. And this one's going to be a bitch because it's in between the power leads. Let's see what we can do here. Also, if you get it started, it won't pop out, which is kind of nice. That's why I like to get it started with my fingers and then come in with the tweezers. Squeeze it and push. Squeeze it and push. That's what she said. Squeeze it and push. There we go. And almost. Come on. There we go. All right, we're all set there. Okay. So this board has the spacers. Let's make sure that the spacers are tall enough. I also need to think about what the board orientation is going to be. I would love to put the power leads in the back here, but I got to make sure all the wires are going to reach. So what I'm looking for now is to make sure that there's enough spacing between this AIO and the bottom plate. And it looks like there is, but using a little light definitely helps. Sometimes you're going to use the light behind. Sometimes you're going to use it in front. It can be a little difficult because you're lighting up, like everything is black on these, right? So it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but take your time and you'll figure it out. And the other thing you want to do is push down on the board a little bit, like simulate a crash where the board gets pushed down and it compresses the rubber gummies, and make sure that it, at that point, doesn't get too close for comfort. Which can definitely happen. But in this case, we're good to go. We've got plenty of clearance here. We don't have plenty of clearance. We have just enough clearance, which is fine. All right, let me put some of this extra stuff back in here. I got a little wire bundle here, some hardware, and couple of these JST connectors. Oh, and an extra rubber grommet. And I'm going to use these. I'm going to use these metal screws rather than the plastic ones. Well, plastic ones are kind of junky. Okay, cool. All right, so that's. I think this is going to be the board orientation. Once we have these here, the USB is somewhat accessible. It looks like this is long enough to reach to there. It sure is. And then we've got an acre of extra cord on the receiver, which just needs to plug in there. So that's going to be totally fine. And I assume that this is the board orientation that Beta FPV wants. It is. Right up here, there's a ton. They always silkscreen a little arrow on the flight controller, and that's going to tell you what's front versus back. Seth Inman says, you don't have DJI. Who's this for? This is for a client, thus the Fiverr Friday name of this stream. People hire me on Fiverr to do work for them, and somebody hired me to fix his rig. Rodney says, you have to bridge for the Rex. For the Rex? What's the Rex? R-E-X. What's that? Marcel Off Axis is in the house. What's up, brother? Speaking of Marcel off axis, he sent 5 Canadian Californian dollars. He says, "Hello, beautiful. Flick some of that hair like a supermodel for us." All right, is that enough? Look at that. Look at that shit. Yeah. Oh, come on, man. My hair light turned off. Hold on. Oh, by the way, guys, look. How did none of you you motherfuckers have been giving me a hard time for weeks? It's back. I remember, man, it is hard to point at it in reverse. It's back, yo. It's back. Ah, there we go. Yeah, look at this shit. I got my fucking haircut, man. It's getting long already. Thank you, Marcel. Much appreciated, brother. Everybody go give Off Axis a sub. He deserves it. He's a good guy. Great content over there. Forevermore says, does your XT60 have to go through the frame? I prefer it not to go through the frame, Forevermore. I prefer them to go out the side and up into the battery straps. If that doesn't make sense to you, tag me again, and I'll show you my glides. Zach says, yes, I was like, who's replaced Joshua with this sailor? He was super fast in his little course, though. Yeah, I was impressed by his flying. I can't do that shit. Double A says, that was some good racing last night, bro. Thanks, Double A. Last night was a frustrating night, but we got it done. We got through Fuji. Jackalope says, what's up? Happy Friday. What's up, Jackalope? He also says, I don't trust people who don't swear. Yeah, me either, man. Forevermore says, it was weird the first time hearing him cuss at the protest, LOL. Yeah, it's funny. People that don't curse, when you hear him curse, it's like, oh, God. Don Ladd says, what's this Witchcraft Avista on your channel? Yeah, I know. I can't control I can't make everybody fly analog. Freeloger says, I've been bashing on my Ghost Meteor 75. One has lots of turtling and is a blast. And all outdoor. Or Ghosted Meteor 75. Nice. See, like, Beta FPV doesn't make all, but Beta FPV gets a really bad rap. Some of their stuff is fine, but yeah, their quality control is not the best. Ryan Fedora says, I'm wanting to pick up my first goggle recommendations. Tried my buddy's box goggles and they sucked. Thought Attitude 6 with Shark Bite or considering Skyzone 03 or 04. Ryan, my opinion and my recommendation is always to buy used goggles. Buy used Fat Sharks from somebody that's going to DJI and you can get a really good deal. I still use old ass Fat Shark HD3s and they're totally fine. The field of view is great. They're not OLED, but OLED in my experience doesn't make my job as a pilot any easier. It doesn't give me any extra information. It just looks better, right? And so like when I'm at home watching a movie, sure, OLED all day. I want the movie to look really good. When I'm in the goggles flying, I don't give a shit. All I really care about is getting the information so that I don't crash, because the DVR and in the goggles it looks like ass anyway. The HDR, the HD is what actually looks good. I fly for the footage though. People, a lot of other people don't fly for the footage, they fly for the enjoyment of flying. So if that's you and you have some extra money, buy used HDOs or HDO2s and you're gonna get a little bit darker blacks. But yeah, I mean HD3s with like a rapid fire you can probably snag for like $300 all up, used, and that's a hell of a deal. So that's going to be my recommendation. And then if anything happens, Fat Shark is going to warranty them. So yeah, Fat Shark really stands behind their product. Paul McDonald says, how do I keep a prop on an 0802? I have one that keeps flying off. Is what you want to do, Paul. Get yourself a little tiny pin or safety pin, anything really skinny, all right? And then you're gonna take a little bit of super glue and you're gonna put it on the tip of that pin. You're gonna take your propeller, you're gonna put that pin inside the propeller, inside the hole of the propeller, and you're gonna get that super glue all up in there. And then you're gonna remove the pin and you're gonna let that fucker dry. You want to make sure you don't put too much super glue in there. The point is you're trying to just make friction. Right now the surface inside the propellers is smooth plastic. So the super glue in there, the tiny little bit of super glue, is going to make that rough and textured in there. and then you're going to let it dry. You don't want to super glue the prop to the motor. You let it dry, and then when you put that prop onto the motor, you're going to notice it's a lot harder to go onto the motor shaft because it's got all that like residue from the super glue, and it's got all that grip in there instead of being smooth. And you'll be good to go. And I'm caught up on chat. Let me go. June Logo says RC video reviews need your expertise at the moment. CiottiFPV is making sex with his hands on his live stream. All right. Who is it? RC video reviews. Let's see what's going on here. RC video reviews. RC video reviews. Budget quad live build. I wonder if I'll get hit on copyrights.
You go out and find this VTX. Oh, what the heck is that thing doing way over there? Hold on a second. We gotta fix that. Oh, I see. It's not up front. That's the problem.
All right, I posted in there. What's he doing? Budget quad live build. iFlight Titan LH5. Very cool.
All this data.
Very, very cool.
Highlight it. Right click and hit copy. And then you go back into Betaflight.
Turn this down a little bit.
In Betaflight, I'll hide this.
Probably going to copyright it, but that should be fine.
Click on...
friction addiction. Yeah, that's all we're doing is adding a little bit of friction.
The selected VTX type
Journey Droid and random. Lava Lamp Love, Paul McDonald says. Oh, what's going on here? I got some like bites on my arm. What's the... oh, is it VTX tables? VTX table issues?
This is a new process that I haven't gone through before, but so far we're not rebooting, that's great.
What's he up to?
Oh my guys just told me you need my help. What up, man? How's it going? Oh, well, we're just troubleshooting. We had a receiver, camera, crossfire all plugged in, and we powered up, and once we added the battery, it started rebooting. So since then, I've disconnected everything, all the accessories, receiver, GPS, VTX, all came off, and now they seem to be working okay so far. So we're back up to the VTX is on and okay. The crossfire receiver is on and okay. We're not rebooting. So the next thing I'm going to do is add the camera. But where I am right now, while we were waiting, was we were waiting to see what was going to happen with the VTX table, and I went to load it from the clipboard, and I'm getting Betaflight errors. So we'll come back to that. I want to make sure mechanically we're sound first. So I'll switch back over to the big camera. So here we are, big camera. Disconnect this guy, and the next thing I'm going to do the camera because
yeah, he's doing the troubleshoot properly.
If I can only have one thing,
I bet you the camera is what's causing the problem.
So we'll just.
So what I just typed into the chat.
Check the wiring diagram real quick on.
Is that he's doing the troubleshoot perfectly. So he connected everything, right? He connected the camera, receiver, and the VTX, and the flight controller just kept rebooting over and over and over and over again, right? So he took everything off, which is perfect. And then the flight controller stopped rebooting over and over again, and then he soldered up the VTX, and it's fine. Soldered up the receiver, and it's fine. So now he's soldering back up the camera. I assume that once he hooks up the camera, it's going to start rebooting again. I guess the camera has shit the bed. Or what I actually think is going to happen is he's going to put the camera back on and everything's going to be fine. Because that's what happens every once in a while with these fucking things, is that you build them and it acts very weird, and then you troubleshoot it, and for absolutely no reason, it stops acting weird.
That has to work too.
So yeah, let's see. Streamception is going on, yeah, for sure. Is bot still on? Can we pull up bot as well? You get three streams all watching us. Ah, he's not on anymore. Oh well. Oh well. Cool. Let's. I'm gonna let him do that for a minute. I'm going to leave him up, and I'm just going to start soldering these wires on.
Okay. So 10 volts, ground, and camera. That's it. So
all right, let's start plopping these. Well, here's the moment. Camera's getting plugged in. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, we both said
And
okay.
Smoke stopper first. Everyone's kind of waiting to see what's going to pop, right?
Put on here.
So, the camera's connected, smoke stopper's plugged in, we'll turn off power, make sure that's off. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Alright, it's on. So
God
we'll
damn
wait
it.
for a minute and let's see what's going on in chat while I wait. So, thanks to me, my guess one of the components is grounding out. You troubleshooting perfectly though, pulling everything, putting them back one by one. Good work. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for that. The collective is passing through. Yeah, it's great to have you guys, man. I appreciate everyone hanging out. This is kind of cool. I mean, this reminds me, you know, when I was a kid, a teenager, we used to work on our cars. That was kind of the thing.
Yeah, it's true.
We didn't have any money, but you know, we'd like to tinker with them. You know, we need to put a new exhaust gasket on, or somebody.
God, these pads are close together. Jesus Christ.
So,
Beta FPV, man, come on.
It kind of reminds me of that, you know. Being
Come
in
on
the
with
garage
this.
back when I was a kid.
This is ridiculous.
We used to hang out together and do stuff. So yeah, very cool.
This
Well,
is
so
just
far, we're okay.
silly.
I'm gonna plug the computer in and take a look at the amperage.
So remember how I said what's actually probably going to happen is that everything's going to be fine because these fucking rigs just torture us sometimes? Looks like that's what's going on. Although wait,
I'm gonna leave. The
I think
CLI.
that was it
I'm gonna
rebooting.
Reboot when I leave the CLI, so we'll do that. That's
no, you did something in the
that's
CLI.
an issue.
Okay.
It's not an issue. It's just what it does. So we're fine with that. I wanted to go back and look at the power. So 1.7 amps.
Man, these.
That's actually lower than it
This
was.
is a tough soldering job.
Okay, I'm gonna get the camera out.
These motor wires are also kind of
And
big.
we'll see.
These are big motors for an AIO.
We should have.
I would not. I would not rely on an AIO to control this big of a motor.
The Fox here camera OSD is on.
But technically speaking, I think the amperage rating is high enough.
Everything, it looks
What
fine.
is it, 20 amp? Yeah, I mean, it should be fine with the 20 amp.
We resoldered everything. Everything came off. The receiver came off. The VTX came off. Camera came off. It all came off. So right now, though,
God damn it.
I'm not seeing any errors. Okay.
Okay. Well, this is going to be really, really tough. These motor wires are just thick for these tiny little pads. I mean, these AIOs are better for like tiny little motors.
Is the receiver still connected? Let's see. Oh, the receiver is not. Check that out.
Well, that's weird.
Look at that. The receiver's not responding. We had that working.
So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to remove solder from these pads
Why are the ports?
because they're bridging together.
That this software gets me. Because you guys saw I know you all saw that receiver working. And all the ports are gone now. They're blown up. So let's see. That was on.
Sounds like the receiver was the problem over there.
So why is number 2 not working? And
Who does number 2 work for?
The VTX was on 6, right? Yeah, that's on 6. So that should be smart audio. So why are those two? I wonder where they went.
Let me turn it up a little bit.
I got my receiver back. Can you guys see it?
Nah, Quad Killer. The name of this stream is Fiverr Friday. Somebody hired me on Fiverr to install this AIO, and now I know why. These
you see over here, right here on the side.
This Beta FPV AIO, the pads are way close together, and these are very, very big motors, so they have thick fucking motor wires.
If you're asking about the UART,
so this is a super challenging job here, actually.
And that was working. That's the weird thing. We had A little while ago, this was up and running, and you can see on the ports configuration, we had UART number 2.
One of the many reasons I don't like AIOs right here.
And then somewhere along the line, we lost it, but it's back now, so the radio is still up and running. So that looks good, and the video.
So the key here is going to be to do this with a minimal amount of solder.
I'll do race band.
Because these pads are so close together, they're going to try to bridge if there's any extra solder here.
Low power disarm.
I need to add a little bit here.
Okay, so I'll just save that.
But I got to be really careful.
All right. So let's
and keep a minimal amount of solder on here.
While we're waiting to see if this thing is going to reboot itself, is bring the monitor back up, and now we should see.
All right, so we got one.
We should not have video. Good.
Work
That's
on
a
the
good
second
sign.
one here.
And now when I do a search, we should go from, we were on A1 before, if you remember. Can you guys see this? I want to make sure you can see this. Yeah. So I'll hit search, and now we should be on R3. That's what should show up. It should stop on R3.
Hey, we got 2.
This thing is going to be.
Well, let me actually look at that second one.
Push it over to R.
Doesn't look super great. Doesn't look that bad, but oh no, we're good. We're good.
That's on low power mode. Let me boost the power mode.
And then we're gonna do the third one.
Let's just try
Let me turn him down a little bit over there. Video playing almost as loud as you. Thanks, off axis. Why are you even playing that video? So it's a live stream, Marcel, and the guys in the chat here asked me to go over there and try to help him out. He's in the middle of a troubleshoot, but it looks like he figured it out on his own, so we'll probably only hang out for another couple minutes. Alright, and...
Oh, look at that, man. Video's gone to hell in a handbasket. Pit mode is on? Oh, shit. Who did that?
There we go. Third one.
Tell you, man.
Woo! This is tough. This is tough with these pads. Wow. Beta FPV, what are you doing?
Save. Let's try R3 again.
Alright, no, we're good though. We got plenty of separation in between them. Now we just got to do it 3 more times.
It's still terrible.
Well, 9 more times, but you guys know what I mean.
What R3 here looks
Okay. So
hit the field, it looks fine.
we're gonna go left to right. You always want to make sure that you're going out sort of like, well, yeah, if you're right-handed, you want to go left to right so that you're not crossing over your own work. And again, just minimal amount of solder on the tip of the iron here because the pads are so close. We don't want any extra solder that's going to try to bridge. So let's get the first one here.
Yeah, no, I normally do that. I'm just doing some testing right now. I'm trying to figure out why it
Okay.
looks like crap.
First
This
one's
really
good.
does not look like crap. Right now it kind of looks like crap.
Second one.
This thing's just being stubborn now. Okay, no reboots, so that's good. You know what I mean? We're not having reboots, so something, there was something.
Second one. Looking good. I'm tempted to check that second one, but I think we're alright.
I'm just searching.
Third one here I'm going to leave over on the side of the pad a little bit because it's starting to get close.
It was acting strange. Like it wasn't saving things that I wanted to save. But no, that's not it. So let me
And I
just do
think
this
that's,
real quick.
yeah, it's right on the limit. That might have bridged. Let's see.
Not great. Let me,
Oh, now we're totally fine.
Still doing this pit mode thing.
Oh fuck. Are we?
Yeah, what's up with that? Stop going in a friggin' pit mode. What? That's
Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay, cool.
If it's some
Cool, cool, cool.
video.
All right, 2 motors down, 2 to go.
Something is causing it to stay. It's being stubborn. No, it's not the monitor, man. It's Betaflight. He's putting it back in pit mode. It's like, what the heck?
Go into the goggle OSD.
Pit mode right here. It says it right on the side. Pit mode frequency.
Goggle OSD.
It's going into pit mode. Oh, that is just weird.
Then the
200.
second level.
It's still in pit mode.
Switch it from race to free. I think it is.
Spend too much time on that. But I'll have to figure that out too. Like it's stuck in pit mode. It will not come out of pit
Yeah, it's stuck in pit mode. That shit happens.
digital, but this, I just did it.
For any of you guys who hook your VTXs up and they get stuck in pit mode, you've got to put your goggles on. You've got to go into the goggle OSD, into VTX, where you would normally do your smart audio shit, right, and change your channel. There's a second layer of that in the goggles. And then there's only one field you can change in that second layer. And it's either race or free.
Is that what you're suggesting? I've never had this kind of difficulty with beta flight, man. I've never seen this before. Why on earth is this thing sticking in pit mode? When I hit save, that should not flip back like that. That's not cool. Okay, go into the goggle OSD VTX. Oh, okay, let's see.
Alright, he's going to try it.
Definitely have never seen anything like that. Alright, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna put it on channel, I don't know, B1.
Alright.
Save. Off of pit mode. Right back into pit mode. Can you do that? That's not cool.
Alright, cool. Next motor. Look at all these chats.
200 pit mode. Low power display.
Beep Mode says the maiden flight of the 3-inch Wasp went extremely well. It's an HDLC Zeus 35 amp AIO with a fat capacitor. No video noise, nice. And it flies so smooth on beta flight defaults. Very cool, Beep Tube.
Pop back in clear.
Let us know when you start smashing it.
Something weird with that.
JT says, what would cause OSD to be really dim and glitchy? The video feed is fine, just the OSD is the problem. I'm building a Tyro 119. I think there's an issue with the flight controller. Yeah, it has to be an issue with the flight controller, JT. That's where the OSD chip lives.
So I guess this, you're talking about the stick commands when you first boot it up, huh?
No.
The VTX button, does it need to be unlocked? Yeah, you know it might.
Zach Lothamer's out of here. Thanks for hanging, brother.
That's a possibility that it might need to be unlocked, but it's unlocked now. I mean, I don't know. Can you guys see the?
Yeah, JT, it sounds like your OSD chip is failing. You can try to move grounds around a little bit. It could be that the flight controller is getting a lot of electrical noise, but it shouldn't be. I think that, I mean, you mentioned that you think there's an issue with the flight controller, so yeah. Jackalope says, do you know how to enable beepers? The motors on my Xylo used to beep, then I upgraded my Crossfire to DJI, and now they don't beep.
And let's try and get the GPS back in.
Those upgrades that you made have nothing to do with
GPS again.
beepers. The ESC beepers are what they are.
Double A. It's been. I
Um,
haven't got that far, to be honest with you. I haven't even looked at the OSD screen yet.
Yeah, there's no reason that those upgrades should have changed the beepers, Jackalope. That's really weird. But yeah, just go into the config tab, make sure that the two beepers are there. No, June Loco, the name of the stream here tonight is Fiverr. This is somebody that hired me on Fiverr to fix his quad.
Maybe it's the.
Let's get back in here.
That's messed up. Who knows?
Try to get this next motor wire going.
Even if I have to like downgrade the firmware or reflash the VTX table or whatever, I'll figure it out. But it works, and we're not rebooting, so that's what's most important.
All right.
No, I don't think it's the VTX. I think it's something. I think it's something to do with the software. Could be VTX software. Could be the radio, because I do have the radio, but I haven't loaded any of my custom config stuff, so I doubt that. I don't think the radio's interfering.
Let me ask him what VTX is it.
I haven't loaded anything up. So, boy, this video. I hope you guys are having fun. I'm having fun. I like messing with this kind of crap. Okay, let's see. You know, the other thing that I've done in the past So I've soldered my ground for my GPS up here on the camera ground. I'm not going to do that this time either. Although I really don't think that should freaking matter. I'm just not going to do it this time. I'm going to solder it down here on this one. It shouldn't matter.
Alright, next motor wire.
It's just a standard rush tank. It's the rush tank. Here's the rush tank.
It's the rush tank, yep.
This is a rush tank 2. With smart audio. It's the big one. Here, can you see it? I don't know. If I have to make sure I have the camera going. Let me switch to the big camera. So it's the rush tank 2. Nothing special. Alright. One's locked and one needs to be unlocked in USB. Okay, I'll check that. It's locked. The rush tank 2 is locked. Yeah, I haven't read the book, but I was able to get it to come in clear after fiddling with it a couple of times. It seems like changing the channel and the band while changing the power got the power level back up. It seems like if I just change the power level, it ignored that. So maybe that's it. Maybe it needs to be unlocked. It wouldn't surprise me. This BS rules that they have wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, I want to get the, let's do the GPS again. This is about the 3rd time I've wired this stupid GPS in.
Alright, cool, so that should get them going. Fiverr gang, I did not go to DJI, yeah, right, Metal? BeepTube says, I do kind of intend to bash that through. Good. Spectably durable, AIO is way over spec'd, and that frame is overbuilt. I hope so, BeepTube. A lot of times the AIOs don't fail from being like under-spec'd. They just fail from having everything on one board.
I think it's the zone option. I should go to the next screen, and then on the next screen, you only change one option. It'll probably be on race, which is hit. Okay. Well, if you want to hang tight, I'll get back to that in a couple minutes. But I want to see if we can get this GPS populated.
All right, second motor wire is in. Let's try for 3. It's not bridging, which is good. Really, really good. So I'm gonna pull the tweezers to the side. No, I'm not. This third one's being kind of a pain in the ass. Come on. Come on. Sit down flat. There we go. Come on. Get up in there and... Hey. Now we're cooking with gasoline. I don't even really need to look at these. I can kind of see that they're separated, but it's always good to check your work. Oh yeah. We are golden on those 3. Last 3 here, and we'll be done. It's been about an hour, but I've been fucking around a little bit, so I guess I'm only going to charge for a half an hour on this one. Alright, let's move these. Now, you know what? Let's spin it around here. And let's get this going here. Alright. And first one. I'll try to do this with the tip of the soldering iron dry. Yeah, there we go. Holding the soldering iron as flat to the table as I possibly can to get the max contact patch. That's going to transfer the heat as quickly as possible. You don't want to be putting the tip of the soldering iron down like this. You're not going to get any contact patch. You want to put your hand flat on the table like this. Put your wrist and the side of your hand flat on the table. Sometimes you guys will even see me hold the soldering iron like this. Hold on, it's hard to show you guys. Hold the soldering iron like this to really get a flat contact patch. I'll actually do that now to kind of show you. Different situations. I mean, you just keep like the general idea in your head of like the bigger the contact patch, the quicker the heat transfer. So yeah, you can hold the soldering iron totally flat like this.
Alright. That's that.
And always remember that the soldering iron is not there to control the wire. You don't want to be pushing down and holding the wire on the pad with the soldering iron, because in a second you're going to have to remove the heat. And then you don't want the wire to pop up and off. So you need to have good control of the wire with your left hand, be that with your fingers or tweezers or whatever. Something. And there we go. That should be good. Let's check our work with a 5X loop. Oh yeah, we're good.
No lights on the GPS. What's up with that?
Wow, all kinds of issues going on over there. RC Video Reviews has a challenging gremlin-filled build over there. So let's put voltage to this thing and see if it blows up. Let me make sure that I put... I don't remember double checking that I was putting the positive on the positive and the negative on the negative when I did the battery leads. So let me just try to check that here real quick. I mean, I have a feeling that I did, but, you know, it's worth a second or two to double check here.
For some reason,
positive and negative. Positive is on the left, negative is on the right. Okay, good. Good. I must have checked it and I just don't remember checking it. Or it's 50-50 and I just got lucky. So back down onto the standoffs. We're going to use these nice little metal M2 screws here. And we'll hook up our smoke stopper, fire this thing up, see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't blow up. So now is a job for the nut grabber. If you don't have a nut grabber, you need one. Link down below in my description. Get you one. The nut grabber is realistically the only way to get these stupid M2 nuts into challenging places. So if you don't have one and you're going to be building some micros, you're going to get pissed. So just go ahead and buy a nut grabber, and then you can tell all your friends that this last Friday night you bought a nut grabber. And they'll be like, what? You mean a hooker? And you'll be like, no. A nut grabber. CiottiFPV tipped me off to it. And they'll be like, what? You okay, bro? You okay, bro? You okay, bro? So, Beta FPV, you've put power leads in between on the other side. This is not great design. That's what I'm trying to say here. Man, this is a silly way to. This is silly. And they've really smashed a lot of stuff on this board.
I did check voltage on the wires here. I did not check them going up though. That's.
I think RC Model Reviews has a blown up flight controller over there. No power to the GPS. Why is this being such a jackass?
Yeah, there was a whiff of smoke earlier, no doubt about it. It could have been this.
Oh, he said there was a little smoke earlier.
Ground. And then that one is way over there. The power is way over there. Alright, well, I guess I can try. I don't like it, but I can try.
Now I gotta loosen this up.
Voltage up to the GPS. I mean, I'm sure there is because I checked it down here on the pads. Check it down here.
All right.
You check it down here on the pads. You should.
Yeah. Let's loosen it up a little more here.
So let's bring it up and see if
there we go.
comes on it.
That's a little better. Okay. So let's get these other two nuts on.
This is gonna test it.
There could be fire over there. Hold on. Let's take a look.
Man, I just connected those. feeling this GPS might be.
You connected something and it rebooted the flight controller. That's never great.
I really do. I think this GPS might be our problem.
GPS was the problem. See that, everybody? GPS is bad.
I think I have.
Down with GPS. All right, we got some nuts. They're metal. They're on here. They're just about the right tightness. This one's actually a little too tight. Let's back it off a little bit. And we're going to crank this one down a little bit. So after you crank your little nuts down, give yourself a little handy. No, don't do that. Push the AIO around a little bit. Make sure that it's got a little bit of soft mounting, but make sure it's not too loose. You don't want it to be loose butthole. You just want it to be regular loose.
I really do. I think that's the problem.
And all right, we're gonna get the
but we're not rebooting either.
cats. Well, you know, no. Let's put voltage to this thing before we start plugging stuff in.
I checked the voltage on the tabs over here.
And all will be right with the world in 1 second. Here we go. Let's not plug. Well, yeah, it's for 4S. It'll be fine. We'll plug 4S in. One of the great things about the Vifly is it has both XT60 and XT30, so I can use a big old XT60 here, and then just output to the XT30. So here we go, pushing the button for on at 1 amp. Cool. All right, let's fire it up to 2 amps.
I'm taking the GPS off. I'm going to take that off from now.
Good to go. Now let's start plugging shit in.
I'll revisit that.
We're going to plug in the CiottiFPV Vista first.
Well, I have another thing I can do. Now that I think about it.
And there we go. All right, cool. CiottiFPV Vista is plugged in. Let's go back down to 1 amp. Here we go. Oh, and it tripped it. All right, so we're going to go to 2 amps. Cool. 2 amps is good to go. Turn it back off, and now we're going to plug in the receiver here. Can't possibly imagine any issues with the receiver, but okay. Yeah, come on.
It's a little sketchy.
What the hell's going on there?
And I lost radio signal, and the
Oh, that's coming out.
came back. So
this plug is trying to escape. Let's push it back in.
I do like it for safety.
No, the plug's not trying to escape. The wire's trying to pull out.
Not strictly necessary. I don't fly all my stuff because I'm, with GPS because I'm worried that I can't get it back. You know what I mean? That's not.
All right, that's a little better.
Yeah, you can fly without GPS. Yep. I think that's
Let
the
me take a
criminal.
quick look at
I
this.
think that's a criminal. I think we should do a does it blend video. I'm half tempted to do it, but that's Amazon, so I can get my money back. I can say this thing doesn't work, and they'll give me my money back. And the thing is, I've had plenty of those GPSs, so I know they work. But I think that's the problem.
better.
I think there was something up with this thing.
It's still not quite all the way in.
I've got power. We're gonna leave it connected. Let's get into
Get all the way in there, you little
Let's
shit.
do some configuration stuff in Betaflight and see if this thing acts normal. You know what I mean? And you guys were talking about something with the
There we go.
Let's see if we can mess with that too.
Hold on. It's being a little odd.
The video looks. Let me swap places. Let me just put the drone up here and let you guys see the camera so that the drone's just kind of looking at the front of the desk a little bit, but you guys can see that. There you go. The camera looks.
Hold on.
The camera looks good when it's.
Hold on, please.
But,
Gotta get this pushed in a little more.
that was
It's kind of
fun.
biting me.
Did anybody? Yeah, oh yeah, it absolutely supports Jeep. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, first off, it has SCA, SDL, SDA, so yeah, it does. And then second, it's a UART, so it's the Betaflight.
Why the hell won't that go all the way in there?
I saw a blue light on it once, but every single time that thing
Pushing
was
from the
connected, I was
bottom,
getting
too.
reboots. Right now, not getting any reboots. So, what's up with that, right?
I just need it to go in there like the
Okay.
tiniest
Okay.
little bit more, and we'll be good to go. But
Like the video
it's
looks
being
fine.
very odd.
It's not rebooting right now. That's good. Everything's good. All right.
Get in there, you little
It does.
jack.
That's what I mean. When it's working, if you guys
Ass.
can see it looks healthy, and there's nothing wrong. I mean, I gotta turn off the OSD here. You know what I mean? That's gotta go. But other than that, it looks.
Jesus, what the hell's happening here?
It's very healthy. So let's go ahead and while we're here.
Hey, there it is. There it is. Okay, cool.
Transmitter again.
That was probably not an issue, but I'm just nuts about these connectors because they don't have many plug-in unplug-in cycles, so you got to be careful with them. You got to just try to like never unplug the damn things because their duty life is like non-existent.
We'll turn it back on if there's anything interesting to see.
So it's pins up in there. So pins up like that. Let's fold this over and
nothing unusual. Now I do have what I call a common config. So what I'll do is
come on. There we go.
In fact, I probably should just show you my desktop so you guys can see it.
There we are. All right, cool. So we got that.
Yeah. Let me just
and let's put power to it one more time. Make sure it doesn't blow up. Let's put it on 2 amp because the Vista pulls kind of hard, it seems. Good to go. No fire. That's a working rig. I mean, in theory. I can't test video, and I'm not gonna. I'm not going to test the. I'm not gonna test the. I'm not gonna bind the crossfire up because there's really kind of nothing I can do with it. I gotta find a spot for this receiver. Let me kind of twist this up a little bit here. Let's twist it in. Let me actually unplug this. I'm going to twist it around this antenna wire just to gobble up some of the extra cable. Oh no, let me twist it the other way. And good. 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 Just to kind of manage some of the cable here. Okay. There we go with that. And I think I'm just going to stick this to the top plate, maybe? Stick this to the underside of the top plate, I guess.
Although, it looks like there's, you know what, I'm going to upload the fonts. We'll just try that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll work. And then the camera can hide the rest of this cable here. Well, actually, you know what I can do is sneak this cable down below the the Immortal T here. And that'll eat up even more of the cable. Come on. Come on, little fella. Get up in there. There we go. Okay, cool. Alright, so now our cables are managed a lot better. And the rest of this cable can just hang out in there. I think I'd said pins up. So we're going to get this in here. Pins up. And just get it plugged on in. We're good to go. Come on. Come on. Why does everything always have to take forever with quads?
OSD.
Get in there. Come on. Come on. Get in there. Get in
I
there.
have a standard common config that I use for.
Get in there. Come on.
This is basically like my
Get in there. Come on, little buddy.
fail-safe settings.
Yes.
My adjustments. My rate.
Hey, we're golden.
So I just copied.
All right, that little fella is in there. Here comes the camera up front. That's going to hide the rest of that cable.
Again, this is just common configuration.
Drop that down into the vertical slots.
Things like my nodes, so like now.
All right. There we go. Cool. That cable is now totally under control. There's no chance of that popping out and getting in the propellers. I am happy about that. And then, yeah, I'm just going to throw a piece of VHB on the bottom of this guy, and then we'll stick it to the top plate. And throw a couple screws in, and we'll be done. So let's go like that. And ooh, nice. Okay. We're gonna throw it on this side here, the flat side.
Because I don't have a fail-safe set. So let me go into Crossfire and
Let me shrink up this shrink wrap a little bit here.
So all I'm going to do in Crossfire is go
It's a little thick and gangly.
under this receiver.
It's kind of already shrunken up, so let me just flatten it out.
Fail-safe.
Yeah, it's better.
It is. So I don't know what it's entitled.
The other option is I could stick it to the back of the camera, but I'm not going to do that. That's kind of a mess. So I'm actually just going to kind of let it hang out like this. We'll put the top plate on, and then I can sort of maneuver it and stick it to the top plate. So let's just put 2 of these screws in just to get this top plate pulling itself down. There we go. 1 and 2. And now I can kind of maneuver this guy and get it into a good spot. Although it looks like it's getting sandwiched perfectly already from the amount of space that the Caddx Vista kind of takes up. So I think we're actually kind of good. It found a home without me even really needing to push it around. That VHB is going to get really dirty, but I mean, who cares? Everything's going to get dirty on all quads, always. Yeah, cool. That is totally stable in there. So there we go. Screw a couple more screws in here and we'll be done. We've got M2s in the front and the rear of this rig. And then we've got M3s in the middle. So let's do the M2s here. And then I'll get back into... yes, that's what I was saying, AA. Rush does that. They like... it's very annoying. They lock their VTXs into pit mode in like a really annoying way. And the only way I've been able to figure out how to get it out of that is by doing it through the OSD. It's probably some kind of fancy CLI command to do it. Or maybe not, I don't know. Alright, another M2. And come on, get out of there. Couple of M3s and we'll be golden. M3, M3. Okay. There we go. Put the nut grabber away. Whoa! Nut grabber away. Yeah, so there we have it. The power leads are coming out the back here, which is going to be good because then they can be tucked up under the battery strap here. And yeah, we've got plenty of space in there. All the wires are neat and tidy. The receiver is smushed up above the Caddx Vista there. the VHB is holding it to the top plate. It's kind of the perfect little gap. And yeah. Again, the wires are managed. This wire is not long enough to come out and get in the propellers. This wire is also not touching the AIO to give any bad signals to the gyro. Yeah, we're good to go. QAV-S Mini finished. Awesome.
See if we can get that into the menu and see if we can unlock this thing. Curious about that.
All right, he's about to do the VTX unlock. I'm hoping that's the fix for him. Certainly sounds like the fix that I've had to do a million times. All right. It is Rodney. Rodney, are you in here? Rodney, you in the chat? I thought it was Rodney. So here's Rodney's blown up AIO. Here's his now fixed rig. He's got a couple of extra motors because he knows what's up. And there we go. Right. Nice always. All right, so I'm gonna put that in the middle of the room because I need to message him. Oh wait, this is his little beta FPV case as well. All right, sweet. I wonder if Instagram. Oh, he's in the camera OSD. Features VTX. All right, I'm just typing to the I'm typing to RC video reviews. Will the search work? No, it will not. Rodney, what's your Instagram name? All right, we're gonna walk him through it.
Throttle, digital idle, FPV cam angle.
It's in features. Features.
OSD.
Features.
OSD.
Features.
OSD. Invert. I don't see a VTX menu. OSD profile. OSD profile. No, that just changes the screen, so that's not that. Active element. No.
He'll see the chat at some point.
That's the setting.
All right, let me. EEDoc says, "What's the talking in the background?" That's RC video reviews here doing a troubleshoot, and I'm trying to help him out. Suave FPV says, "Hope you had a decent Friday. If not, make tomorrow better than today." I'm not gonna read the last part. Yeah, today was fine. Today was all right.
Let's see.
I did a hot yoga for the first time today. That was interesting. Vinyasa class. It was pretty advanced. I was struggling to keep up, but it was really, really good. Double A says, you were saying he needed to use smart audio to unlock the VTX, right? Yep.
Alarms, invert, back.
Scott says, what's a good 16mm ESC and flight controller? I don't know if any of them are good, Scott, but if one's going to be good, it's going to be the Talon one, sold by HeliDirect.
Features. Yes, features. Okay.
Hey, he just saw it. Okay, features. Now he's going to go into features. Features, VTX. Boom! And then it's set. Set. It's in set. Or it might be in config.
Here in config. Top model.
There it is.
Free.
There it is. Free.
Yep, I'm in features. Set. Set. Confirm. Yes. Okay.
Damn it, it's on free, so I don't think that's his problem.
I'm waiting. Maybe config. op model free, flight select mode, channel, hit mode.
It's the op model. Change the op model.
Yeah, there's nothing, you can't change that.
And see if that fixes it.
Status.
So guys, this is that troubleshoot that I've been telling you about a million times. It's that op model. See how it says free? That's the only thing that you can change. See, free and race. I think race is not where you want it to be. I think free is correct. But every time that I have this problem, I go into there and whatever that op model was on, I change it to the other one and that fixes it for me. So I want him to change it to race and see if that fixes it. I don't think it will.
See if that fixes it.
I don't think it will. I think you need to do a button hold when powering the VTX on to get it to unlock. But if your VTXs are ever stuck in pit mode like this,
cycle through the power levels on
that
which is good.
op
Back.
model is usually the problem. Okay, cool. I don't think it will. See, like, I don't think it will. Yeah, see, now it's fucked. Now I made it worse.
And that channel, the power channel thing on this really kind of sucks. I don't think it will. I think you need to do a button hole and powering of the VTX skids unlocked, but if your VTX ever stuck in pit mode like this, that op mode is usually the problem. Yeah, it looks like I'm able to change it, but I noticed on the right hand side there's a little P on that screen too, and I don't know what that is.
Hippie! Alright, boys and girls, what are you talking about in the chat? Quad Killer Forgotten has Crossfire. Freelo just says Wi-Fi Smokestopper rocks. What frame? Let
Pit mode again.
me turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, it's in pit mode again. Every time I change the power level, it goes into pit mode, but when I change it again, it goes off. So that's kind of interesting. When I use the power selector on my radio to change the power level, so if you guys can see this, here's the weird part about it. Like right here, it's on race 3200, and I have a VTX.
Oh, there's a weird VTX table issue. Fuck, I've seen this before.
VTX table.
Oh, God.
VTX. I think this is VTX, right?
Why is the mic level not...
Yeah. So
Why is the mic level sitting up so high? When I don't talk, what do you guys hear? Is that all fan noise? What the hell?
power settings, so 0, 2, 1. So that's
Oh,
correct.
he's got a
That
weird...
table is actually correct. Although 0, 2, 1. So 1, 2, 0.
Oh, man, I've seen this problem before, I think.
So there's the reboot. I notice when I switch it, it goes from, it's at 200 right now. I put it in the middle position, it stays at 200. And I put it in the bottom position, it goes to 25 and in pit mode. So, okay, so video.
What else is going on in the chat? Quad Killer says, how do you test fly? Just cross the fingers? No, I'm just not going to test fly. The board's not set up either. He's got to set up all the stuff anyway, so...
Yeah, it's a 30 by
fairly functional, yeah, kinda. E-Doc says, what the hell, yeah, I know. BeepTube says, hope that AIO doesn't make weird gyro flitter on one axis problem. I ran into that twice with beta FPV IOs. That's a gyro problem, BeepTube. It sucks, yeah. Metal Dirksen says, I have my nut grabber pin on my bag next to another one, which is quite lewd. Nice. Rodney says, there are 3 pads to the left of the receiver connector. 2 of them need bridging. I think the DM... shit.
Set it to 0, so...
Oh...
I'm gonna change
That's what Rodney was saying before.
VTX
3 pads to the left of the receiver connector. Damn it.
0, 2,
Maybe I can get in there. Maybe I can get in there. Nope, can't get in there. Alright, we're going back in. Damn it. Alright, here we go. Let's get that fixed up real quick, and then we'll be good to go. Okay. I think he might need a specific VTX table over there for the rush tank. I feel like he's maybe using the generic TBS Smart Audio VTX table.
That should no longer let me put it.
And I believe that he needs a rush tank specific
Every time I put it in 25 milliwatts, it was going into pit mode. So let's
VTX table.
That's backwards. Of course it's backwards. And where's 500, by the way?
Let me type that into the chat.
This is 0, 1, 2. 2 should be 500. So VTX 2 should be 500. I might just change all of these. Yeah, that should be 500 for all of them. That's weird. I'm gonna have to go back and.
Rather than the
so, let's see.
generic
When you put it
Smart Audio.
It's the final range is, let's see, the modes. Are you going to modes?
Alright, cool.
Modes and move this switch.
Alright.
Which one is it?
Let's get
I'm
it.
cheating a little bit.
going.
I'm using this to figure out which switch this is on. So this is 3. Okay. So when 3 is down, it's at 2,000. So the rates are 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000. When it's down, it's at 2,000.
Alright, so there's the
it's
pad.
down at 2,000.
There are the 3 pads. So there it says DSM and S bus. Okay, yeah, so we need to
But one
bridge that over to the
2.
S bus
That's
pad.
the problem. This should be 2.
Thank you, Rodney.
Let's try that.
Where's my solder? There it is.
This should be 2.
Okay.
And then slot 1 should be 1. And I'm going to set slot 0 to 1 as well. Whoops, I just messed that up because
Remy Tim says your mic is fine. Awesome. Tark61 says, what's your preferred props you run? Depends on what size the quad is, Tark. I have 1.2 inch props, 1.6, 2 inch, 2.5 inch, 3 inch, 3.5 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch as well. 5.5 inch as well. Metal Distance says, but the RX light came on when you plugged it in, so you're good, I think. Oh, yeah. Well, no, so these pads... Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
every time it goes into 25 milliwatts,
I mean, it's definitely not DSM. That's for sure. And the receiver did power on. And yeah, these are obviously these pads that need to be bridged. So yeah, what I think this does is it controls where the
I'm gonna have to play with that.
where the
need a specific table from Rush rather than generic. Yeah, that might need a specific VTX table. Yeah, that's worth a look because nothing I'm doing is working. I can tell you that. All right, Rush tank. Let's try it. There's got to be a better answer than this.
oh man, this is tough to get in here.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not. It's definitely not respecting like the VTX power level adjustments. That's for sure.
That's gonna help.
You know, here's another way to do this because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm getting to a point right now where I just don't care. I'm getting tired of screwing with it.
I can hear the frustration in his voice. I know exactly what that sounds like.
I'm gonna do VTX 0, 0, 0.
Okay, cool.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
S bus is good to go. Rush tank VTX table. Oscar Liang, Facebook, GitHub.
Okay. I'm just gonna. All I'm gonna do is blow up this table. I'm gonna get rid of this.
Just look up the specific VTX you have, and usually on the product pages, there will be a link to the specific VTX table. So annoying. All right, so we've got that.
Basically disables the switch, and now I'm just gonna go in the video transmitter, and I'm gonna set it at power level.
Yeah, we're good now. All right, cool. Now we can put it back together, and we'll be all set.
500, and I'll leave it on low power disarm until first arm. And honestly, that's fine. I don't need. I always whenever I'm flying with analog anyway, I just punch it. But it's gotta stop going into this frickin' insisting. It's gotta be something with that power level, because every time I use 500, that's where I'm seeing some issues. There's gotta be something with this table. Has to be. It's like a label is wrong or something like that.
All right. So Rodney, all you got to do, man, is plug this thing into Betaflight, put all your settings in, and you'll be golden, man. That sucks that
like every time I use
the USB broke off of the old board.
Go to 0. Yeah, there's got to be something messed up with this table. I have to think that there's something messed up with this table. I need to find the rush tank table. In fact, I'm gonna try just out of curiosity. I'm gonna do the Betaflight.
Just go to the product page. I typed it in your chat.
VTX tables again. I'm just gonna try it one more time. I'm gonna try putting it in for 2.0 in the USA.
No, that's not it. That's not gonna do it.
And I'm gonna load it from the clipboard. The values that have been loaded but not yet stored, you must verify it.
At RC video reviews. Copy and paste.
Yeah, I gotta think there's something not right about this one. I gotta find.
Hopefully he'll see it in the chat.
From the website product page. Yeah, there's had to be something like that. So 4 and.
Come on. There we go.
Let's see. Hit 25.
All right, cool. We are now actually good.
So we'll do. Can you put a number in there?
So right.
25. 200.
No.
800.
On the old board, it's bridged to DSM.
0, 1, 2, 3.
God damn it, Larry.
Yeah, let's try this. And if that doesn't work, that's what I'm gonna do.
Barg.
Hey, look at that.
Pull it apart one more time.
How about that?
Richard says the link on the Rush Facebook doesn't work.
You can put PIT as a label, and it seems to work. But let's see if I can change it now to 500.
Why on earth would they?
Whatever.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that was it.
Whatever.
June Loco, man. He gets the gold star. Oh, no, wait. Who was it? No, who got it first? Who got it first?
Sounds like they fixed it, but I think they just turned off the VTX tables.
I know how to do the configuration. It just was wrong. It didn't work off the stock table. It was Kelly got it. Power Pit from the website. Kelly gets the gold star.
Power
So there you
Pit?
go. Yep.
What?
Kelly gets a gold star.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so now in theory, I should be able to put my switch back in place.
Because it controls inversion. Oh, right.
If I put it on 200.
Right. S-Bus is inversion. Oh, it's an F4 board. Right. Okay. I'm totally used to F7 now, not having the inversion issues. Yep.
Yeah, look at that.
Yep.
It says P right there, so that's actually kind of cool. So back to 25. Yeah, and we're out of pit mode.
So it sounds like they figured it out over there. I'm not totally sure what the hell it was.
Gold star for Kelly. You guys are awesome, man. This has been fun. I hope you're having fun. I'm digging it. I'm having fun doing this. All right, let me go back now and get my freaking stupid like Betaflight common analog config. And
I gotta turn the soldering iron back on.
Not that I really need it. I'm kind of being glad for punishment, all right?
Beta
So
FPV.
we'll use just okay. We'll use
It controls the inversion.
3 and 4. Okay.
Of course it does.
So,
Of course it does. Of course the horse is the horse. Of course, of course, of course.
We'll just do 1, 3, and 4 and see if this works. Okay.
All right, so we're bridging the DSM pad. All right, so now all 3 of them are bridged. So
Okay.
let's just break the bridge between the S bus in the middle.
Let's
Yoink!
see what happens.
Nope, not quite enough. Yoink! I think that actually unbridged the DSM pad.
It stays in pit mode.
Come on. Come on.
1, 3, and 4. I didn't use 0. I used 1. So why is it putting that one? Let's just try.
Get
Let's
out
try
of there.
Let's just try 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, there we go. I just had it. There it is.
2. That's weird. It shouldn't have done that because I didn't use 0. And 0 is pit mode. So that's kind of weird that it did that.
All right.
But let's try it.
Add a little tiny bit of solder here.
Video
That
transmitter,
DSM
turn this
center
off,
pad.
Save.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go, I think.
There we go. Alright, I don't know. I'm gonna check make sure you guys can see that. So, yeah, oh, wow, you got it.
Okay,
Good screen.
now we're done.
So there's 500 milliwatts, 200 milliwatts, 20. That's
Now we're actually done, boys and
that's
girls.
kind of the way you want it to work. And you should be able to switch
Yikes.
between, and again, that's more of a because you can kind of deal than anything else. But
Alright, let's just
Okay,
get
well-
that tucked in there.
you guys are still hanging, so
And
because there's more to
get
do,
this
man.
put over
You
here.
gotta do the motors and the ESC. Yeah, you guys are killing it, man. You guys are
Alright.
This is a good group of people. So, you have to do the motors though. So
Alright, cool.
let me,
Power leads are coming out where I want them to.
channel, make sure the stream is actually still okay. It seems like it's okay.
Everything is good here. Get this cranked down.
I'm gonna switch back over.
You're going insane, Fitz.
Let's see. We need to be on the
You're going crazy.
desk. So I'm gonna.
Now we've been hanging out with.
Camera's gotta go.
I've got
And we need to add the display.
RC Video Reviews. He's live streaming right now as well, and he was having some issues. And we were kind of group thinking it. We were hive minding that shit. All right. There we go with the front standoff. I'm actually going to check the screws in the bottom of the standoffs in a second here too, just to be sure. The one of them seemed a little wobbly a second ago. So, what time is it? 12. Whoa, 12:45. How the hell did that happen? I'm going to wrap this up after this, boys and girls. I was hoping to get downtown tonight to stalk some women. Hey, Rodney, thanks for messaging me on Instagram. That makes it way easier. Instagram search is horrible, and I get 1,000 messages a day. So your messages have long been pushed down 1,000,000 miles below the ocean. All right, cool. This is good to go. These were not loose. The fronts are not loose either. Yeah, we're all set. Now we're good. Yikes. All right. What's going on here? Why is this so tight? Something going on with this motor. Hopefully it's just these, hopefully it's just the, yeah, it's these. These are, hey, Rodney, be careful when you screw these guys in without a propeller. These guys were screwed into the bearing, and they can kind of hurt the bearing. All of you guys actually, this is a really good thing. If you put your screws in like this, just so you don't lose them, right? Don't crank them down, because if you crank them down, where these bottom out is the bearing. So you can screw these into the bearing and you can jack up the bearing. It looks like it only happened on that one. And you're probably fine, Rod. You didn't have it like totally buried in there, but that's something good to know. If you ever put these screws in, just put them in lightly. Don't crank them down. All right, we are golden, boys and girls. Any last minute questions, leave them in the chat or forever wait until tomorrow. What do you guys want to do tomorrow? Tell me in the chat what you guys want to do tomorrow. Type into the chat bench or sim or what else could we do? We could what else can we do tomorrow? I don't know what else we can do tomorrow. Bench or sim? Always Hath Been wants to see a 2.5-inch freestyle build. I have to finish my 2.5-inch freestyle build, so that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. It's right here. I've been dying to finish it. Now it's on the bench. That's what we're doing tomorrow. Awesome. I gotta replace the camera, and I've got to I want to switch the motors. No, I'm not going to switch the motors. Oh. I can put those motors... so I have a set of 1404.5s somewhere around here. And I was going to put those on this, but I actually would rather put those onto the Ripsqueak and see how they are on 3-inch props. Where the hell are those motors? I bet you they're in the motor box, guys. Let's check the motor box. Beep Tube is taking his new 3-inch out for a night flight. Very cool. That's going to be fun. Here they are. Let me see if they are 12 by 12 or 9 by 9. I bet you they're 12 by 12, which sucks. Yeah, of course they're 12 by 12. Well, that's actually fine. They are nice and smooth. So, I mean, I can tell you guys that if you're looking for a 1404 that's smooth, can confirm that the Hyperlight 1404.5s are nice and smooth. You would be able to run these with HD. So, yeah. Maybe I'll put these on a Ripsqueak. These are going to end up going on a Ripsqueak. For sure they are. What sucks is that they're 12 by 12. So here's the 9 by 9 deal with the Ripsqueaks. There are Ripsqueak arms available that are 3.2 millimeters thick that accept 9 by 9 mount or 12 by 12 mount. Then there are slightly thinner Ripsqueak arms that are only 9 by 9. I would rather run the thinner arms so that they break sooner because the micromotors are very weak. And the thinner Ripsqueak arms are still very, very strong. Still plenty strong. Here's the other thing. GEP-RC makes these brilliant 3-inch prop guards, but they're only 9 by 9. So, in a perfect world, I would have a Ripsqueak that flies good on 9 by 9 motors that I can then put prop guards on. The RCX motors that are on the one Ripsqueak, the 1306s, are 9 by 9, but I've got that weird full throttle vibration issue. Xenakis is in the house. What's up, brother? Xenakis, of course, is Nevin that we were talking about at the beginning of the stream, the creator and mastermind behind FPV Exchange. If you're not on FPV Exchange, I'm going to kill you with fire. Oh, vodka. Yikes. June Loco says, let's do a test hover. I don't have any of the settings. I'm not gonna bind to my Crossfire. It's fine. It's a fresh AIO. It's gonna be good to go. Don Ladd says it was power levels and going into pit. Oh really? I didn't think to tell him that. I didn't think to tell him to check that because I saw him checking the VTX table fields. I assumed that he didn't have that one on pit. That's very annoying. It's 12:50. I'm gonna go downtown. I'm gonna go downtown and see what's going on. Maybe I can pick up a lady of the night. All right, boys and girls. Double A asks, have you heard of BQE? I have, Double A. Bill and I have been friends for a long, long time. The Rip Squeaks are made by BQE. Freelojo says, Sim Sunday? Maybe. I do want to bang out this 2.5 inch, though, tomorrow, maybe afterwards. Zanakis says, hard stuff tonight, man? Kinda. I just made a bunch of stupid mistakes tonight. Oh, no. In here, no, it's just water. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to go and see what I can do. Thanks for hanging out. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. You can call me whatever you'd like. This is my full-time job. Please do support me over at CiottiFPV.com. There's some shit that you can click that's free. There's some shit that you can click that only costs you 10 cents a day. It's called Patreon. It helps me out the most. It's the only reason that I can still afford to continue doing this. So yeah, join the Patreon. Lots of good stuff. It is well worth 10 cents a day. Lots of good articles. You're going to get access to the Discord channel. You're going to get email notifications when I live stream. You're going to get secret streams that the public does not get. You're going to get a hand job. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to work on this 2.5 inch rig and then maybe do some sim stuff. That's it. Thanks for hanging out. Love you guys. Here's some rando flying from God knows where. Or here's my computer being a steaming pile of dog monkeys. Come on, computer. You can do it. There it is. Insta360 go? Nah. Pro 4, more Pro 4 testing. Here we go. 63 megabytes. Nope, that's just me crashing right away. 1.24 gigabytes. That's some actual flying. Enjoy. This is when I was first testing the T-Motor F40 Pro 4s on the Glide. This is when they were cranked up to 100%. They were making buku power. Epidemic Sound is coming up for some royalty-free music. Royalty-free music. Dreamy laid back. Let's see. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.